The Luck of Barry Lyndon was first written by William Thackeray and published in 1844. After over 150 years, the story had faded into obscurity. Quite dead. Until Stanley Kubrick adapted the picaresque tale into his overlooked masterpiece, the visually and audibly stunning 1975 epic, Barry Lyndon. The article follows the exploits of Redmond Barry as he roams Europe in search of wealth, recognition and title. After apparently wounding one Captain John Quinn in a duel of honour, he must combat the wilderness, life in the British Army, and of fortunate isolation.
Is he dead?
Quite dead.
In one man came many fancies of the intellect. Carl Jung, a Swiss theorist of the psyche. Jung was a man of many designs. Especially famous were his concepts of one collective unconscious,
that there is an impersonal stratum in our psyche,
common to all men, permeated by archetypes which themselves are experienced through symbols innumerable.
You see, the type is nothing static. It changes in the course of life.
It is from revealing this collective unconscious that one may become reborn or individuated. Individuation be the destiny of a man, his journey of self-discovery. It involves the realization of the archetypes that compose him, to widen his conscious range. It is through this optic that one may conclude that the film Barry Lyndon will conform to Jung's philosophy, yet it does, and it does not. In attempt of historic authenticity, Kubrick was influenced by many a Baroque or Rococo painter in his compositions. Colour holds much value as a symbol. To give example, the costume design. Barry wearing blue symbolizes his coldness and emptiness. The white clothing of Lady Lyndon symbolizes her purity and innocence to Barry's tortures. Red is a symbol of activity, energy, and blood. The glow of candles creates a red energetic light, while enveloping the background in a black symbol of mystery. The white makeup of the gentlefolk can be seen as a false or superficial innocence.
He wants to step into my shoes. He wants to step into my shoes.
Kubrick's stylistic decisions have the effect of portraying these men according to the way they would have seen and portrayed themselves and their world. In addition, the characters themselves are antiquated. It be through the collective unconscious that Kubrick effectively utilizes archetypes to express the narrative. Now to the subject of the protagonist, Redmond Barry, Barry Lyndon. Well nigh all stories' champions are portrayed as in Jung's hero archetype, a representation of the self. It is typical that this hero would have a struggle of life or death, be it physical or spiritual. If tradition is upheld, the protagonist must undergo some form of individuation. To achieve individuation, a person must strip of their false identities and egos, of which Barry certainly has many. Barry's advances are purely material. He is vain, selfish, cold, and misogynistic. All characteristics of the shadow archetype. The musings we wish to suppress in our unconscious. The initial step of individuation is to recognize one's own shadow. Yet Barry fails even at this. His shadow comes to dominate him. While being wholly unlikable, Barry's common humanity continues to intrigue the audience through the collective unconscious. The philosophy of such an epic as Barry Lyndon largely conforms to a Jungian analysis, as it brims with symbolism in visual form and archetypal yet dated impersonations. Despite the rejection of the archetypal hero in Barry himself, the narrative continues to compel due to the collective unconscious shared by all.